Ever feel frozen at the sight or the thought of a mountain of a task? The climb is so huge, you don't even know where to start. Here's my promise. By the end of this video, you'll learn why and exactly how to get started right now, leaving your overwhelm and your procrastination in the dust. Even when you feel stuck, exhausted, or discouraged. Let me illustrate this with a short story. A few years ago, my sons and I climbed Hindman Peak and Mount Bora in Idaho. One was 8.5 miles and the other was about 13 miles. Each was about 5,000 feet of climbing. Near the top, my quads locked up and my hamstrings started seizing. The summit started looking less appealing at this point. So I stopped thinking about the mountain and I focused one step at a time, one careful step, over and over. We stood on both summits, and that one step focus, that kernel, is what I want you to take away. So make sure to watch all the way to the end. Learn the principle and the practice that give you the power to actually apply this in your life. That experience I shared with you points to a principle, one that shows up in rocks, in neurons, and in psychology. So let's unpack it. I call it the Law of Incremental Change. One of the 28 laws of mental health. In one line, small actions repeated consistently create deep transformation. This is a universal pattern of reality that shows how really impressive stuff gets done. We see this same truth throughout the world, in geology, in brain science, and psychology. First, geology. Awe-inspiring landscapes like the Grand Canyon were carved by something almost invisible, tiny drops of water. The Colorado River doesn't carve the canyon in one heroic flood. It deepens by millimeters per year, but it moves tons of sediment every single day, day after day. Tiny increments compounded create a mile-deep canyon. That slow, patient work is a better model for change than the Hollywood overnight transformation. And here's the crazy thing. Overnight transformation sounds great, but in reality makes things worse usually. For instance, if we tried to create the Grand Canyon in a day, it would be absolutely catastrophic. If rocks can change that way, what about our brains? So that takes us to the second point of brain science. Your brain rewires itself through repetition. Cells that fire together, wire together. That's called Hebbian learning. Repeat an action, repeat a thought. The pathway strengthens. It becomes easier to trigger next time. Think of a path through tall grass. Walk it once, nothing. Walk it daily, the grass falls. Soon the trail is obvious. That's neuroplasticity in action. And third point, in regard to our psychology, behavioral activation. It's a proven method from cognitive behavioral therapy. You start with small, scheduled actions. Tiny steps break cycles of avoidance, depression, and procrastination. Meta-analyses show it works. Mood lifts, action gets easier, and neuroscience shows that it changes reward and motivation networks in the brain. The action circuits get stronger. The rumination circuits get weaker. That's the river carving the canyon inside your head. And one more tip, the 2-minute rule. James Clear says any new habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. Because the hardest part is just to get started. 2 minutes or less removes friction. It gets rid of the automatic excuses your brain comes up with. So here's the synthesis. Geology shows us the pattern. Neuroscience shows us the mechanism. And psychology gives us the tool. Together, they prove tiny repeated actions are the most reliable path out of overwhelm and into getting more stuff we care about done. Now, let's get practical. Here's one routine built from behavioral activation and my ACT framework. You can do it in under 5 minutes. ACT stands for acknowledge and accept, change your body, think well, and take action. We'll focus mostly on 2 steps: change your body and take action. Step 1, acknowledge and accept. Pause and say, I feel overwhelmed. I feel stuck. I feel exhausted. And I need to get this work report done. It's important to me. That's affect labeling. Research shows it calms the amygdala and engages the prefrontal cortex. It makes action possible. Step 2 is to change your body. Breathe, stretch, drink water, do 5 push-ups, tidy one surface. Do 1 or more of these things for 20 to 30 seconds. The key, it must be small enough that you can't say no. This micro move shifts your physiology and primes your brain for action. Step 3 is to take action. Answer the question, what small thing could I do that would get me a little bit closer to my goal that I will actually do? Either do it immediately or write your tiny action down and schedule it. Use an if-then plan. If it's 7:30, then I will do 2 minutes of breathing. Writing your implementation intentions double or triple the chance you'll actually follow through. And step 4, repeat for 7 days. Each day, check it off. After a week, expand by 10 to 30%, or stay small if that's the sustainable win for you at that point. Here's the script you can follow right now. Stop for 2 seconds and say, I'm overwhelmed, I'll do 1 tiny thing. Breathe, do 5 push-ups, or 1 minute tidy. Set a timer and do it. If you still can't do it, make it smaller and do it again. Mark it off and repeat tomorrow. Here's why it works. Physiology shifts. Repetition rewires your brain. Implementation intentions remove decision friction. That's compounding. That's the canyon being carved. I hope you feel this principle in your bones with the song that follows, called Little by Little. Remember, small streams carve deep canyons. Now it's your turn. Comment 1 tiny action you'll do today, 2 minutes or less. I'll feature some of them in future videos. If you want more principle-driven tools, subscribe. We'll keep unpacking these laws.
He woke up staring at a mountain high. Dream felt heavy like it touched the sky. Every step looked too far away, so he whispered to himself, just start today. He took 1 stone, laid it on the ground. 1 drop falling makes a quiet sound. Nobody sees when the river's thin, but that's how the canyon begins. Little by little, the water runs deep, cutting through the silence. Secrets it keeps, day failed 3 times, thought of giving in, but the current kept on whispering, you don't need the finish line tonight, just one more ripple, you'll be alright. A single drop can wear the stone away, 1,000 nights can rewrite the day. It's not the flood, it's the steady stream that turns the impossible into a dream. Little by little, the water runs deep, cutting through the silence, secrets it keeps. Day by day, through the rock and the rain, small streams carve out a grand canyon of change. We all want thunder, lightning, fire, but the quiet flow builds something higher. It's not the rush, it's the rhythm slow that makes the desert bloom, the rivers grow. Little by little, the water runs deep, carving out a story that time will keep. Day by day, through the heartache and pain, small streams carve out a grand canyon of change. So start with one drop, let the river fall. Small deeds build a canyon that outlives us all.